So, the foundation of faithfulness in our life is God. When we start being faithful to our God and knowing that in everything we do, we will be faithful because God has been faithful to us. That's when we set the standard of being faithful. We cannot be faithful when we set our faith on earthly matters. For example, we cannot be faithful because we expect our partners to be faithful. We cannot be faithful because we expect our friends to be faithful. We can only be faithful when we understand that God is faithful and He has called us to faithfulness. Faithfulness in Him. I will be faithful to my partner because I'll be faithful to God. Why will I be faithful to God? Because God has set the standard of faithfulness. You cannot be faithful to people because people will always let you down. But when you set your faithfulness foundation in God, that's when you achieve something big in your life. So start setting the standards of faithfulness in God. Start learning that in life you'll be faithful because God has been faithful to you. Don't be faithful because someone has been faithful to you, because the expectation never turns out to be good. The only expectation that turns out to be good is when you learn that being faithful starts with God. I am going to be faithful to my relationship because God has been faithful to me and God has called me to faithfulness. I'm going to be faithful to my work because God has called me to be faithful. God is faithful to you and you have to learn to be faithful to Him. The foundation of faithful in anything that is on this world starts with being faithful toward God. Start with God, because the originality of faithfulness did not start with man. Nothing started with man. And this is the mistake that we are making in lots of marriages are breaking down, because people do not really understand the foundation of faithfulness. The foundation of faithfulness is set on God. I'm not going to be faithful to my partner because I'm expecting her to be faithful to me, but I'm expecting to be faithful because God has been faithful. And this is the same call that I'm issuing to my partner. She should not be faithful to me because I'm being faithful to her. She should be faithful because God has been faithful. When we start setting the foundations on our own principles, that's when we break it. But when we start setting the foundation with God in mind, that's when we achieve something. So from today, start thinking of faithfulness as a part of God, not as a part of yourself. Because when you think about being faithful based on your own principles, that's the issue. That's when the problem starts. But when we start setting the foundations of faithfulness toward God, that's when we achieve something in life. So starting from today, it's very important for you to start understanding that the foundations of faithfulness shall not be set on man, but shall be set on God. The foundations of faithfulness towards your partner should not start with you, but it should start with God. That's where foundations start.